SOP, LOR, GRE, TOEFL. Oh, CGPA, yeah. Please, whoever tells you CGPA is not important.
Hey everyone, welcome to the third episode of MBG Talk Season 2. I am Prakash Gupta and today I'll be co-hosting with Akanksha Verma. Today we have a really special guest with us, Mr. Bharat Sir. He is currently a software engineer at Google in Mountain View, California. He had completed his BTech in computer science here at Ireland and graduated in the year 2016. He had also completed his master's in computational data science from Carnegie Mellon University in Pittsburgh. Welcome, sir. We are really glad to have you with us today.
Thank you so much. Yeah, it's great to be here, and I hope I can be of some help in this talk. Yeah, let's get started.
Okay, so we got to know that you were a senior software engineer at Samsung. So, what prompted you to change paths from there and pursue masters?
Okay. So for me, actually, it was the other way around. And when I was, I think when I was in fourth year in IIT Roorkee, I I sort of was already mostly sure that I wanted to do masters, and but I thought that maybe I should get some industry experience first, and maybe also earn some money before I go do masters outside India. And I guess one more reason was, yeah, I really wanted a break. I just wanted to relax for a while and you know spend some money. So
That's
which is
really
what I
cool.
did. So yeah, I guess I was always sort of sure that I wanted to do masters. Why was I sure? That's a different uh, question. Maybe we can address it later, but yeah, so during my tenure at Samsung, I sort of tailored my experience to develop this background so that I could get a really good college in masters. Like I really targeted to get as many research papers as I can. So yeah, I did a lot of things to make sure I was in an environment where doing this was possible. And yeah, I guess that's mostly the highlight of my experience at Samsung. Like I put out like four research papers. Of course, I was interested in the papers that I was putting out, but at the same time, another sort of hidden goal was to build that really good background so I could get a nice college for masters. So
Okay, so industry experience that you had in Samsung really helped you in getting into a master's, into a good college, and like overall, it really helped you.
yes,
Samsung.
that's also true. But what I was saying was, like I always wanted to do masters, like even during my stay at Samsung. So I put myself in like three different teams so that I can um, basically have those set of research papers and like trying to be with people who are more interested on the research side. So it was actually the other way around for me. But yes, that is true. The industry experience also helped me to get a good college. Like if you have like 2 or 3 years of experience while applying for masters, that's a good plus. And also, it's I got a really good letters of recommendation from Samsung. So yeah.
So, how was the process of hunting for an university for masters, and how did you just finalize one? Like, this is the university I want to go in or pursue my master.
Okay. So the process was actually a long story. Basically, I always, so I guess, as you guys know, the first step towards applying for masters is applying for GRE, right? And
Yeah.
some of my friends, they gave GREs while we were all in IIT Roorkee, but like some of my classmates. But I was always sort of lazy to do it. uh, there's like lots of English words you have to memorize, and it's it feels very different from what you are used to normally doing. Like life becomes very logical, right? Like in IIT Roorkee, you're not used to memorizing and rotting stuff anymore, like you used to do when you were little. Finally, I gave GRE, and I faced a lot of resistance, and that's maybe one advice I would give to the people in IIT Roorkee who are serious about pursuing masters is that maybe it's best to give GRE as soon as possible. I think the score is also valid for I think 5 years. So and yeah, that was step one. Then there was TOEFL. TOEFL once you have given GRE, like TOEFL is like
Mhm.
AI AIEEE after IIT JEE. So it's kind of a subset of most of the things except the speaking part. So for that also, it's only like 1 or 2 weeks of preparation. So one advice I would give here is to start a bit early. And what I mean by that is like the applications for at least the fall program start around December. And so it's best if you can start, like if you can give GRE in August or maybe July or August, because there are many steps to this process, like 5 or 6 different things, and each of which will take a lot of time. And especially if you want to do it really well. So anyways, so I gave TOEFL, and I guess the next thing was SOP. uh, SOP, and by the way, yeah, do start working on your LORs in parallel. LORs are basically letters of recommendation from. So I guess it's advised that if if a university needs like 3 letters of recommendation, so you should get 2 from your undergrad university and 1 from the industry if you have any industry experience. So what I did was like when I visited IIT Roorkee during my convocation, I I spoke to some of the professors in advance, and they agreed to give me those LORs, and so I sort of stayed in touch with them for the next around 2-3 years. Maybe you don't need to do this much in advance. Like maybe you can contact them before as well, like just before applying as well. But yeah, I was a bit scared, like they might forget me, and one day they'll be like, "Who are you?" So basically, yeah. And then I had this letters of recommendation from Samsung as well. So I ended up. And another tip I would give here is like sometimes a professor or a person will tell you like I'll only give like 5 or 6 letters of recommendation, because it's also some effort on their part, and they might put that limit. So it's best to speak to as many people as possible for LORs. I think I had like maybe 7 or 8 people. Yeah, like backups of backups, all that. But eventually I ended up taking LORs from only, I think, 3, 4 or 5 people. But yeah, the point is that do start working on them a bit early, because also the communication with them will take some time. And even though I did all this advanced planning, still like some of those people, like they only referred me just before the deadline, and I was really scared, like because you can't uh, if you miss the deadline, then your application, at least in some universities, is gone. And it's not like you can request them that please give me an extension or anything. You have to yeah. But anyways, LORs and what else? SOP. So SOP takes a good amount of time to write, like I think 1.5 months. And one of the reasons it takes so much time is you need to get it reviewed by many people. So I got it reviewed by a lot of people, like everyone I knew. I just gave my SOP, like, so it was only like 1.5 pages in length, and I think on every word I had some comment. And I everybody, ultimately I did what I thought was right, but it's good to hear everyone out. And even not just computer science folks, like I also reached out to my friends in like civil engineering who are already doing masters in US, and anyone I could find. Who, maybe there are some people who are only like who don't have a computer science background there, but their English is really good. So I just gave it to them as well, like. So yeah, I think I got a review from 20-25 people, I don't know. So all this takes a lot of time and energy. And yeah, I was doing my job in parallel as well at Samsung. So yeah, you have to really manage your time well. And anyways, SOP, LOR, GRE, TOEFL. Oh, CGPA. Yeah, please, whoever tells you CGPA is not important. So so okay, let me put it this way. It depends, right? Like one advice I would, and that's one of the mistakes I made. Like I didn't spend a lot of time in IIT Roorkee thinking about how life was going to be like after I graduate. So I was always like, okay, I'll just do my best in, like, I'll just try to get the best CGPA. And like I was in IMG, right? So try to do really well in IMG. And yeah, do all this extracurricular. I used to do a lot of rapping. So basically, yeah, I always thought I'll just go with the flow and the best will happen to me. That was a mistake. So So of of course enjoy your undergrad life. Like you won't get that time again. Like you'll end up making like lifelong friends. Even by the way, like my roommate, his name is Ankur. He's also in MDG. So like the point is, yeah, to this day, like even in Bangalore, in Samsung, for most of my 3 years, I stayed with IIT Roorkee friends as my roommates, and in the Bay Area also, I'm staying with my IIT Roorkee friends. So yeah, I keep on digressing, I know, but the point is, do enjoy your undergrad life, and but at least spend a little bit of time thinking about how life is going to be like after you graduate, or at least think about how you want your life to be like after you graduate, because there are two paths, right? If you want to pursue this higher studies path, the choices you make in IIT Roorkee should be different than if you pursue the other path, where maybe you want to just get a job and settle in Bangalore, or you know. So mistake I sort of made was like, okay, I was sure about masters, but I didn't spend a lot of time practicing lead code or Geeks for Geeks. And yeah, during my third year in internships, like I faced a lot of rejections because of that, because I walked with my head held high in the interviews, and I was like, okay, I have a nice resume, I have all this, I did this Sura, right? Like I had this good resume, right? I was like, I'll just
Mhm.
show them that, and anyone will take me. But as soon as I yeah, but as soon as I entered, they started asking me all this linked list questions, and I had no idea. I was like, I don't know why I didn't prepare for that. So yeah, I guess one of the mistakes I made was like, despite being in a very good environment where seniors really help you, I never really asked this question, like what my life would be after graduating and what I need to do right now to prepare for that, right? If I'd known, maybe I would have
Mhm.
practiced some Geeks for Geeks in advance. So yeah, I guess the point I was trying to make was, if you want to choose the path where you want to do masters in the future, please work on your CGPA. It's the most, yeah, yeah, maybe top two, but yeah, one of the most important things to get a good university. So yeah, GRE, TOEFL, SOP, LOR, CGPA, and also research papers. Sorry, I stressed this answer very long.
Mhm.
So the research papers thing, so that's like a bonus thing. If you can achieve that, that's like, uh, and especially if you have research papers in good conferences, that's going to take your profile to a whole another level. So maybe I would say CGPA and research papers are the most important thing. So that's another reason I wanted to wait, because I wanted to have some research papers in my profile. And what was your question was about masters? Was there another part to it?
Yeah, another part was like, how did you finalize the university? Like, you want this
Oh yeah,
university only.
right, right. So that's another story. Basically, I think I applied in 12 universities, 12 or 13, because I had lots of people to give LORs. So I thought, why not? And one of the things I did was like, and that worked out well for me. So I never really expected I'll get CMU. Okay, let me be straight with you. I always dreamt of getting into UCSD, because it's near the beach, and I always wanted to live near the beach. And yeah, but it's a good university with a good ranking, and the work life balance is good, like it's pretty chill, and many of my friends went there, and the cost is essentially zero. Like let me put an asterisk on that. Basically, like my friends have told me, like at the end of 2 years, once you're finished with masters, the money you earn from being a TA and your internship, and if you get a TA, half of your fees waived off in UCSD. So essentially, you end up paying like the effective amount of money you pay is zero in UCSD. So that was an attractive option for me. I always dreamt of that. And but at the same time, I was also like, okay, I'm only going to do this process once. I'd never applied for masters before, so I was like, okay, I think I applied in like 5 or 6 really good universities, like CMU, UIUC, and even in CMU, I applied in like 2 or 3 different programs. Then UIUC, UT Austin. Even though my CGPA was what 8.775, whatever. It wasn't like 9.7. Like for UT Austin, you like need like 9.5 plus or something. But I still applied for it. I was like, okay, it's just maybe I'm wasting some money, but if I get it, like then it's
Mhm.
really good. And that's exactly what happened. Like, and also the what you should also do is like have a mix of universities, like some very ambitious universities, then like the medium kind of universities that you think you are very confident that you'll get. One of those was UCSD for me, and finally some two or three maybe like safe universities which you are like almost 100% sure that you'll get, which are not the best ranked universities in the world. And for details on where I applied this, like I think I uploaded all this information on Yocket. That's another good resource for if you're applying for masters. So yeah, maybe if anyone is interested, they can see there like what universities I applied to. But the point is that really worked out well for me. Out of the top like 5 or 6 very ambitious universities I applied to, I only got an admit from one, which was CMU. So if I hadn't done that, so basically I got 5 admits. Uh, CMU, Columbia, UCSD, UMass, USC. So, and I got UCSD what I wanted, but when I got CMU, then yeah. And coming to your question, like how did I finalize the university? So I was confused between CMU, UCSD, and Columbia. So of course, there's this huge bias in me. Like for CMU, I was always okay. So at that time, I used to follow like 3 different rankings. Of course, there was advice from my friends also which universities are good, but these three one ranking CS rankings and US news rankings and top universities rankings. So I used to follow all these to figure out like the best ranks of universities, and CMU was like rank number one in like I think two out of three of those websites. So or at least like definitely in the top three. So of course I had this huge bias, the rank bias, right? That okay, CMU is like world number one at that time. I really wanted to go there, but the huge one huge decision I had to make was the cost. So like I said, in UCSD it was essentially negligible, but in CMU like it was really expensive. Like it's a private university, and you don't get any funding even if you become a TA, which I did. All you get is like some monthly stipend. You don't get any fee waivers, right? Of course there are, let me also say, there are some very good programs at CMU which are fully funded, but my profile was not good enough to get into those programs. uh, so basically, long story short, I spoke to seniors from all 3 universities, and one thing they told me is that the job you get after all these universities, it's going to be almost identical. So yeah, that's one of the differences between the job market in India and US. So in India, like many companies care a lot about like which IIT you're from or whether you're from IIT or not. It's not the same in US. Of course, there is some brand value to like these big 4 universities. Like okay, you meet new people, they'll know, oh, that's a good school, that's a good school that you went to. But in terms of the salary you get, um, unless so the best way to get a higher salary is to have like competing offers, like offers from other companies as well. And I guess that's not the best way, that's I think the only way. So if you're good at doing that, if you're good at negotiating and getting like other offers, it doesn't matter a lot, I would say. uh, Maybe it matters a little bit, but mostly it doesn't matter like which university you're from. So basically it boiled down for me to how I decided was like I just compared like my life. I knew the life after masters was gonna be like almost the same out of these universities. But yeah, I just compared like how my experience during masters was going to be like, and yeah, I think I made the right call. Like I've spoken to a lot of my friends from other universities as well, and there is a difference. Like, of course, there's both pros and cons. But maybe we can get into that question later. Like, how was life at CMU like? Yeah, yeah.